But amongst all that, cycling is
Cycling
especially
is
important.
yeah, cycling is very important. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say cycling was number one thing, but it's very important. We have a huge cycling agenda. We're putting about £1 billion into some of the roundabouts and the junctions to make them safer. And putting in big cycle superhighways as well.
What is it that cycling adds or contributes to livability?
I think cycling is a wonderful way to get around. You feel better. You arrive at the office in a good mood. You have ideas. Your endorphins are going through your body, so you're charged up and you're optimistic. You get fitter a bit. No, I go so slowly I don't really get fitter, but that's what you should get. And you take people out of cars. So instead of people being stuck in their car, they're on a bus. So you get a car off the road. You relieve the pressure on public transport. It makes a lot of sense. And cycling's massively increased in London in the last few years. I think, it's up. I couldn't give you the figure, but something like 150% or 200%.
And of course, infrastructure is a big part of that, right? Including your cycle superhighways.
Cycle superhighways, yes.
And what are some of the learning points from having to put in place all this infrastructure?
Be brave. Be brave. Recognize that in a democracy you will incur a lot of anger, and you have to be decisive. You have to work out what the best plan is, and then just do it. Because everybody's going to object to something.
What has been your experience of addressing the objections?
Well, I mean, when I say, you've got to, if you can improve the design, you should. So there's one that we're putting in now where we are trying to be as subtle, be as flexible as we can. So when I say be brave, I don't mean be stupid. I mean be rational. But when you've decided what you're going to do, then put it in. So at the moment, we're doing the biggest continuous cycleway anywhere in Europe. We're doing a big east-west cycle superhighway, and there's a lot of objections, but we're going to find a good way through.
What has been your approach to overcoming objection?
Well, first of all, you've got to see whether the objection is valid or not. Then, if it isn't valid, you just make the points about how the traffic will flow, about the economic benefits, the environmental benefits of the cycle superhighway, and then you just get on and you do it.
Of course, the other part of it is increasing the usage and take-up of cycling, getting people to buy into it and embrace it as a way of moving around. How have you gone about that part of it? Getting the buy-in and
I think you just got to make it safer. It's all about making it safer, making people feel more confident on bicycles. We particularly want to have more female cyclists because they tend to be less brave, or they tend to, or less confident, I should say. They tend to hang back a bit. We want to see them feeling that the road is for them as well. So we're trying to ensure that's the case. I think it's trying to get the message. Cycling is not just for people in lycra and with dreadlocks and stuff. Cycling is for everybody. People in suits.
Well, of course,
fat people in suits.
In the UK, you already have a cycling culture to begin with. In your other towns and in the countryside, so you have. I suppose you have that advantage. Or what advice would you have for other cities where there is less of that culture? I think
it's difficult because I noticed in Singapore, you have a lot of cars. You don't have many cycle lanes. It's not clear that I think the state, if it believes in cycling, has to get behind it. And at the very least, you have to paint some cycle lanes on the roads or something like that, because people need to feel there's an area where they can cycle safely.
And specifically relating to cycling, what's the next?
Well, we're trying all sorts of things. We're trying some electric bicycles in one part of London, but we're basically we're intensifying the higher network. We're putting in more docking stations before we make the next big expansion. We want to get it really working well in the centre of town. And the quiet ways going through the middle of London, a network of little paths.
The bikes already bear your name, or your nickname.
Well, they're Barclays bikes. Yeah.
So this looks like this will be clearly one of the strands of your legacy as a mayor. How do you feel about leaving this behind?
Very proud to have had any part in the cycle house scheme, and it seems to be working well.